How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Realit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today, I want to do a reanalysis and look back at the old Pokemon Plus and Minus rumor from about 3 years ago. Now, interestingly enough, this rumor does seem to hold a pretty interesting thing to it, right? And it seems to relate well to current rumors that we're getting about Pokemon 2019. So I thought it'd be worthwhile to take a look at this rumor because I asked you guys in my video, the last video I had about a rumor, I actually asked you guys, hey, would you want to see me cover this rumor again, go through it again, and see how it matches up with the current states of, like, Pokemon and, like, what we know about Pokemon 2019 so far, you know, from the Pokemon Company and such. So I thought it'd be fun to actually bring it in and talk about it. So let's do it in this video, guys. Also, sorry about any background noise. My window's open because it's so warm in Sweden right now, so I have it open just so we can get some air into the room. But either way, let's get started with here. So the first thing I'm going to go through is actually this post on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, which was posted, I think, yeah, 6 months ago. It was like, you know, not too long ago. This was before Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee were revealed. And then I'm actually going to go and, like, look through this reanalysis of the actual rumor itself. And then, of course, the original rumor itself as well. And kind of just, like, break down everything in this video, guys. It's going to be a pretty long video. Please understand that. If you don't want to, like, listen to me about, you know, reading through everything and explaining it, giving my thoughts, then just go to the links in the description down below to the actual posts and look at them that way. So, let's get started with the actual video here. So, first off, I ran into this post from FAQ, Game FAQs from 3 years ago. And then he links to the actual, you know, the actual post right here. And then he says at the bottom they post, they cite the original source as being My Nintendo News. After reading through this post, it goes over the fact that they are going to overhaul the battle system, plus lots of other interesting details like playing on a handheld controllers with an all-new gameplay aspect will be on the terminal unit. I'm growing more and more suspicious that they have been working on this Pokemon title for a lot longer than people think. I will list some bullet points from the original source, the second link, which are very interesting. So, we're going to go through some of the things that are mentioned here, and we're going to actually go and read the full post itself. So here we go. So Game Freak plans to completely overhaul the basic systems of battle, simplifying the process, which I don't know if that sounds too good. Then theme is old tradition versus new exploration, which is a theme that we've heard about for a lot lately, actually. That's kind of a thing that keeps being mentioned all the time. More traditional Pokemon-like gameplay will be on the handheld controllers, while an all-new gameplay aspect will be on the terminal units. So this is something that we know for a fact is definitely going to be happening. So they specifically said that, like, Pokemon 2019 is going to be the handheld experience that you want, right? But there probably is going to be some sort of aspect to the gameplay that actually relates to the actual, what they called back then terminal, but rather it's the dock, right? It probably didn't have a name back then. And this was also, by the way, before the Switch was actually revealed. This rumor came out way before. This is what I want to point out. This was way before the Switch was even revealed. It was just rumors about the Switch just popping up from a few people, and they were calling it the NX. This was around that time. Like, it was actually just before that happened that this actually was posted. So it's, you know, it's interesting information. They say the island gameplay with gym leaders and Elite Four Island can be played entirely on the handheld and can be blown up on a terminal for home play. The mainland is an MMO-like environment that is exclusive to the terminal and shared by both versions. Players all over the world online can chat, trade, intermingle, and experience a new updated storyline on the mainland. Just to wrap up these rumors came out years ago, and it's very interesting that it gives away aspects of the Nintendo Switch, which we knew nothing about back then. Let me know what you guys think. Pokemon Plus and Minus rumored years ago with interesting leaks about the Nintendo Switch before we even knew about the system. And that's the most important part about it, right? It's the fact that, like, it happened before everything. Like, it was before we knew what the Switch was. So here is a post from 4 years ago, okay? 4 years ago. And we'll read through it, actually, and see what it has to say. So here we go. Rereading this, after hearing about Nintendo's upcoming Fusion project, also a rumor, kind of makes this rumor seem more likely, wouldn't you think? What are your thoughts? Here is the rumor for those who have yet to see it. Game Freak were on one of the first development studios inside Nintendo to receive alpha prototype hardware. Now they've been upgraded to the beta prototype hardware above. So this is actually a fact that we are aware of. Not the beta prototype, alpha prototype, that sounds weird, but, like, they were actually given prototypes of the Nintendo Switch. And not just them. These prototypes were actually given to several different companies, and I assume Game Freak was one of the top ones, because Game Freak and Pokemon is one of the biggest money makers for, like, Nintendo. And of course, you know, if you look at franchise-wise, Pokemon, Mario, Zelda are, like, the big three, right? The big three Nintendo products that you have. Then, of course, you know, if we're counting, like, side games, like, and I call it a side game, and like you know, it's like Smash. Now, when I say side game is, like, because it's a franchise, but it's not like it's it doesn't utilize its own like thing. It's more just like, oh, let's just take characters from different franchises and mix it into a fighting game, right? So I don't count it in that same manner. But if you look at like general franchises, you've got, you know, Pokemon, Zelda, or, you know, Legend of Zelda, and you've got like Mario, Super Mario, and those games. And yeah, those were probably the first studios. Game Freak were probably one of the first studios to get access to the Nintendo Switch, to like, because that was probably going to be like the brand new handheld as well, so they had to figure something out. But either way, let's continue. Have a few areas marked out, tons of concept art traveling between Pokemon Company and Nintendo Company Limited. Game Freak plans to completely overhaul the basic systems of battle, simplifying the process, which we already read about. The development team is going to put a lot of ideas they wanted to do for years in this game, which makes sense, right? In logical sense, that is obvious, because the biggest issue with like the 3DS was the lack of power. Like, I think the Pokemon Company Game Freak probably had so many ideas they wanted to put into those games, but they couldn't because there was the lack of actual power. They couldn't do it because of that. Then we continue on here. So 2 versions already have code names, possibly final, Pokemon Plus, Pokemon Minus. This is the most insane part, right? Remember, this was posted 4 years ago. The Nintendo Switch came out like what? Like 2017, right? Yeah, 2017. Yeah, it came out last year. The Switch came out last year. Okay, this was posted 4 years ago. And they called it Pokemon. The code names were Pokemon Plus and Minus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just move my little Gundam over here off my Switch, because my brother decided to do that before he left on vacation. My little brother actually just left it on the Switch. But here's the thing with the Switch, right? If you actually look at the Joy-Cons, you've got the, let me see. So you got the Plus and you've got the Minus. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's so strange, right? But it kind of makes sense. It's really weird. I just can't actually explain how weird that sounds to me. The fact that, like, 4 years ago, the code names for these games, and I think this is a real rumor. I think that Plus and Minus are actually real. Now, of course, they could have changed over time. There's definitely the guarantee that they've changed over time. So let's continue here. So, the theme is old tradition versus new exploration, obviously. New region, no name yet. It's based on Southeast Asia with one large peninsula and many smaller islands. This sounds like the rumor we had from, I can't remember his name again, but it was like the Italian leaker or whatever. He's mentioned also like a peninsula in the Southeast Asian part of the world and whatnot. 3 new starters with no names. Water evolves into water steel and is a squat, teardrop-shaped humanoid that has a jar filled with on its head. As it evolves, it grows taller and the jar bigger until it needs another set of arms to hold it on its head. Sounds like a weird Pokemon. That seems like a little bit unrealistic. Fire evolves into a fire fairy and is a tiny cute goat with fire blowing out of its horns. Its horns and look evolves more menacing until it has curly ram-like horns and a motorcycle hot rod-like look. Grass evolves into a grass electric and starts with a leap for a face with a nubby roots as a body and evolves into it until it grows into an electric producing palm tree with each flower petal having a different face. So this is something that I wouldn't be too happy about. These points right here, I would not want to see another like exotic, like ooh, look, it's supposed to be like a, you know, it's to be an exotic jungle-ish type of thing. I'm so tired of that. I just want to go back to like the sort of places you find in like Europe, like, you know what I mean, or like even America, like just kind of foresty mountains, you know, just that, and not just like this idea that, oh great, everything just has to be like this tropical shit. No offense to the tropical areas of the world, tropical places are beautiful, but for Pokemon, we've had enough tropical stuff for a lifetime at this point. We've had enough of it. I kind of want to go down another path. That's all. I'm not not hating on that. I love, for example, Hoenn, which has more of that tropical aspect to it, still being based on like Japan still though, but it has that tropical aspect to it. Alola also has that tropical aspect to it, and that's the thing, right? We've had like the last since like 2015, we've had just that, and it's just like, okay, cool, we've had that. Since 2014, actually, not 2015. Since 2014, we've had just those tropical places. It's kind of like, okay, we're done with that. Can we just move on to the next thing now? So we continue here. So the main legendary Pokemon Plus is a Shifu lion-looking psychic ground type and has multiple faces. Now we already looked through this in the past. We talked about what a Shifu-looking lion is. The Pokemon Minus legendary is a ghost fairy type that has 2 dashes for eyes and is a hurricane-like appendage. Has like a hurricane-like appendages with many arms and hands. Fair enough. More traditional Pokemon-like gameplay will be on the handheld controllers, while an all-new gameplay aspect will be on the terminal unit. So this is actually true. So this is actually interesting, right, that they mentioned this. Because this is actually insane. Wow, when you think about it, right? Because the Pokemon Company has confirmed that the 2019 games are going to be they're going to have that handheld experience that you're used to. That classic Pokemon handheld experience is going to be in the handheld mode. But we don't know what's going to be on the terminal or on the freaking dock, you know, what's going to be on the dock. What kind of gameplay are we going to see there? That's where I'm interested. What is that? Because they mentioned it here that there's going to be a separation between those two, and there's going to be a different gameplay aspect when you're actually having it docked. So that would give you a reason to also want to play these games at home. Of course, you know, Game Freak is saying, and Pokemon Company is saying, this is a game for those people who are hardcore fans. It's going to be, you know, a handheld experience that you've had in the past. They're not saying it's handheld only. They're not saying that. No, they're just saying there's going to be the handheld experience. But we don't know what the experience is going to be when you dock your game. You know what I mean? When you put it in the dock, what happens there? What kind of gameplay aspects change? I'm really excited to see what's going to be happening there. So, the Pokemon Fighters render that was teased was running on alpha kits. Beta kits now have advanced cell shading, going for a very detailed living anime look. So, this would be telling us in simple terms that, okay, this game in 2019, if this is a real rumor, by the way, if this is actually relating to 2019, this could mean that the 2019 games could have, like, Pokken level of graphics, which I think would be just insane. It would be incredible if they pulled that off. Like, if they could do Pokken level of graphics, but for every single Pokemon, and the characters just looking amazing as well. Like, wow. It would be the best looking Pokemon game ever, just in graphics. Like, it would be insane. And, like, at that point, I would never complain about Pokemon games ever again. Even if they made a downgrade in the future versions, I'd just be like, this game is amazing. In terms of graphics, at least. So, the next thing here, the new team villains are described as a bunch of Sohei Zealot types who have discovered the player's best friend as a reincarnation of a special type of person who only is alive every 100 years. They believe the old system where people were given a Pokemon egg and they stick to that Pokemon until they die, and whose function in society dictates what role the person is. They're against the modern trend of Pokemon trainers and capturing multiple Pokemon, and are making a holy pilgrimage to evoke the old legendaries to turn everything back to normal. They keep the player away from their friend, saying the special one who can do amazing things like mega evolving Pokemon without the use of a Mega Ring. Only love is that of Pokemon and not people. It is planned to be revealed later that for the special one to fulfill their role in society, they must be mortally sacrificed to awaken the legendaries. That just sounds a little bit too brutal for Pokemon. This part I'm not trusting this. This sounds a little bit too brutal for an actual Pokemon game. Now, routes connecting the island together are water bridges but clumps of islands are connected together by underwater tunnels. So this is actually, oh god, I'm so tired of islands though. I'm so tired of islands. There's a stone Slowking statue that is a parody of the reclining Buddha at Wat Po, Thailand. Okay. Many Pokemon from Hoenn and Sinnoh will make a return. Okay, variety of Pokemon gyms. One is a small mail system that only uses flying types and focuses on sky battles. One only uses baby Pokemon. One is implied to be a real vampire, uses ghost and dark Pokemon. There's also a military. So this is actually weird, right? If this is true, if the real vampire person thing is a real thing, that would be the first time we had a dark type-ish gym. I mean, of course, maybe it's a main ghost type. The actual gym is like mainly ghost type, but the person would also have dark types. But hey, it could be also dark type gym. I don't know. There's also a military-like leader who uses fire and steel Pokemon. So this is where like things get a little bit more iffy for me. Like everything above here, all this, and that's where this rumor is so interesting, right? This is where I get so excited about talking about this, and mentioning it again, is because this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets weird. Why is there so many correct things, right? So many things that make sense. Like, for example, everything here. All this, it makes sense. This is a little bit iffy. This is kind of like, okay, it makes sense with the rest of the things we're seeing about the region. But then you have like, these things that make sense. But then you have all this stuff that just makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. I don't know how to explain this, but it's just so weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's so strange. I think it's so strange because you have parts here that just make so much sense. And it's like easy to make the connection to this being real. But then you have things that just seem so off. But then again, this was 4 years ago. And we know that these games have been in development since then. These Pokemon 2019 games, they've been in development since then. So these things could have just been concept arts. This could change. This could literally change over time. Because I don't think they had enough stuff to have all these things ready already back then. Probably impossible. I think what was going on here was that they were getting a lot of different information, and it was a mixture of what Alola is and also what this future game is going to be like. So I think it's like this was a little bit of a mixture of those two, and Alola kind of became this other thing, and then they were still building this other game on the side here for the Switch, is what I think was going on. So the island gameplay with gym leaders and Elite Four Island can be played entirely on the handheld and can be blown up on the terminal for home play. New Pokemon types similar to Shinies. No details yet on how they work, but I've been told they changed the game significantly. Now, the whole, like, Ultra Shinies, that was just, like, a trademark for the Pokemon TCG, so that's not anything. But there was another rumor from a Chinese or Japanese Riddler who actually, like, a straight-up Riddler who actually has been right in the past. This person has been right. He actually, like, put out this riddle, and it was sent to me by some certain people, and this riddle specifically, like, stated that there's going to be some sort of, it showed palm trees, which means tropical. It showed a specific tree that is from this, like, from I guess, like, Southeast Asia, a tree that shows up there, like a palm-ish type tree, as well as, like, some statues. And also one of the posts was a picture of, like, a shiny Charizard, and I guess that was hinting at a new form of Shinies, or something similar to Shinies, but brand new. So, the mainland is an MMO-like environment, and it's exclusive to the terminal, and is shared by both versions. This is something that's definitely going to happen. I think a shared, like, MMO-like area is most likely going to happen. It's a sort of hub where you can meet other players. We've also seen this in, like, newer rumors, so I think it could be possible. So, players all over the world online can chat, trade, mingle, etc. The band is a new mechanic introduced to get people involved who do not battle. A cooperative experience where Pokemon dance and make music together to achieve a highest group score. Fair enough. Pokebank are actually locations on the mainland and handheld areas where people can import past Pokemon, mainly from X and Y, into the new game. Yeah, this is where I don't trust you. It's where I don't trust you, because here's the thing, right? This is not a thing. We know for a fact there's not going to be any trading between the 3DS, like the 3DS and the Switch. There's not going to be any trading between these things, right? Potentially, maybe there's going to be a Pokebank, which could be what this is talking about. But we do know that there's not going to be any direct trading. That's a fact. But maybe this, since it's Pokebank, it could just be like actual Pokebank, and you're going to be able to send from 3DS to the Nintendo Switch. It could be possible for Pokemon 2017. Again, I'm not sure, but there is the actual original post here, which actually goes through everything. A rumor has begun circulating the internet regarding the next installment in the Pokemon franchise. The next iteration of Pokemon games is supposedly called Pokemon Plus and Pokemon Minus, and are apparently in development for the future Nintendo platform. To be fair, the rumor sounds rather far-fetched, but Dual Pixels claims their source has been proven correct in the past. You can read the details about the mysterious project below, and you actually have like a list here to Dual Pixels, which was the original place to actually post this. And I remember this page, so they actually go through everything here and like go through all the aspects of it. Game Freak plans to completely overhaul the basic system of battle, etc., etc., etc. We've already gone through this several times. So I want to ask you guys, how does this sound to you? Because the fact that they mentioned a terminal, they mentioned the terminal being the docked mode, they mentioned a handheld mode, right? That's what the Switch is, and this was posted in 2014. Let me tell you again, 2014. This was before the Switch was known about, which we knew anything about it. This was just before the NX rumors started. This was just before that, right? Before the NX rumors were a thing. That's what this was. So I'm just really curious, guys. Does this mean we're going to be getting ourselves something like this? If this is real, then I'm just a little bit disappointed, because I'm just so tired of islands, in all honesty. That it could be that this was a rumor that kind of had to take from different areas. It could have been that this was a mixture between Sun and Moon rumors, like actual Sun and Moon information, that was diluted and kind of mixed together with information from the actual Switch project, right? Because the thing is, with Game Freak, they're working on several things at the same time. Like, Game Freak isn't working on one thing at a time. Like, they were making the Switch game while they were making Sun and Moon, while they were making Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Not exactly at the same time, but there's a mixture of timings there. So Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee took 2 years to develop. So in that time frame, they were probably working on Ultra Sun and Moon, and also working on the Switch game on the meanwhile as well. So there's a lot of things going on there. They're not just working on one thing at a time. They're working on several projects. So there is the possibility that this could just be mixed information. This could just be a cluster of information that's been kind of diluted and mixed up. And that's what I think is going on here. I think there's a lot of real info here that kind of showcases what we could potentially expect to see. But either way, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I want to know your thoughts, guys. What do you feel about this? What do you think? Because I think that this is real. I think that, not every aspect of it, but a lot of things about it are real to me. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to know your opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you feel about this? And thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is Rumble for Rowlett. I'll see you all the next time. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.